Alright, what's up guys? We're going to have a little bit of a diversion video today. We are filming this March 27th, 2020, and that of course means that the entire world is going through the coronavirus pandemic. Here in the US, as of right now, we aren't on a mandatory quarantine. It's just, in our area, been recommended that you don't go out at all unless it's for necessities. My job has been, we're closed for the next 2 weeks except for emergencies. So a lot of time to kill. But let's see if we can have some fun with it. The other day I got caught in a YouTube black hole and found myself watching a LEGO video where he was lifting like 200 kilograms with just Legos. It was crazy. And then I saw a video about a LEGO Bugatti, so I definitely had to click on that, and it was a build of that. That's what we're going to do today. I'll show you in just a second. I'm a huge LEGO fan, have been since I was a kid. Got my first, let me grab it here, first really big set when I was 10, 11 years old, something like that. And it's mostly survived. Kids, we've got a few missing parts I need to contact LEGO, see if I can get that fixed back up. But of course, grew up a little bit, and as grown-ups do, you stop playing and stop having fun. Over the years, though, Jennifer has bought me a couple sets. Most recently, 2 years ago, I got the X-Wing here. So, didn't expect that at all. That was a fun little diversion at Christmas. Spent a couple hours putting that together. So, always been a big fan of LEGO. Found this video about the Bugatti the other day, and check this out. This is massive. I don't know if you can see down there. 3,599 pieces. This thing is huge. Wanted to buy it off of Amazon. Amazon's completely closed down, so I bought it off of eBay, which is a little bit risky with Legos. You never know if all the pieces are going to be there. Seemed to come from a good seller. They assured me all the pieces will be there. This is not an unboxing because I actually did have to open it to make sure all the plastic bags were zipped up, but looks to be a good set. The guys on YouTube that I watched, they build it in about 14 hours. I'm probably going to be a little bit slower because I'm a little bit out of practice with Legos, but let's take a look and we'll get started. Alright, gotta make room for this massive box. So there it is. I'll show it to you guys here. The Bugatti Chiron. Always fascinated by cars like that. I'm not a car person, but that is just one good-looking car right there. Alright, so you open up the box. You got your 4 wheels over here. Check out this instruction book. That's only half of the instructions, actually. Got some stickers here. We'll apply those throughout. All these boxes are numbered. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. There's a number right there. So that will go in the order that we build. I want to show you this other instruction book though. And there's book number 2. Look at this. This is crazy. I've never seen a Lego. This is a set of Legos with that big of a build. But all the boxes here, we are going to take all this out and get started. Worked for about 3 hours last night. Completed box 1 for the engine and gearbox transmission assembly. This thing is so intricate. I wish I could show more details, but I'm just amazed at how well engineered it is. I mean, just the way that all the intricate parts fit together, it's really amazing. Also, I forgot how much fun this is. I was thinking about it. It had been about 2.5 decades since I had last put together a Technic Lego set, and just the way the gears fit together, I had an absolute blast putting this together last night. Like I said, spent about 3 hours on box 1. This is the rear of the car. I think what's next is the front, and they're gonna assemble together like that. I made it through page 137 out of around 300. So this right here is what I did last night, all that stuff. So I've got a couple hours now where the kids are asleep, so let's get to work. Alright guys, we have arrived at our moment of truth and the kids are awake. So I gotta hurry and hope this fits. We have the front finished right here. The rear end we finished last night. I gotta tell you, the front may be even more impressive than the back. Differential steering. We worked in what's gonna be the gear shifting. This is just so impressive. So we've got to slide this together here. Supposedly I've got everything lined up. And we're just gonna give it a go. I think. Alright, I had one that was not lined up. Alright, and there we are. Just a little bit more to finish up box number 2, and then I'm gonna go actually be a human and talk to my family. But yeah, the car is fully put together. That's pretty cool. Alright, back to work. Day 3. Yesterday we got all this done. You can see we started on some of the plating on the rear end of this. It was getting a little bit tricky, so I had to bring in a Lego expert, someone who has built a castle, a whole castle, not just a car. So she helped me last night. We made it through box 3, so we've got 3 boxes left, and about 1/3 of the way through instruction book 2. It's becoming increasingly clear that if you make a mistake on this, you are just in big trouble. Let's see, the first box was the engine and the rear drivetrain. The second box was the front end and the steering here, more of the drivetrain. And if you messed up somewhere along the line in there, 1, you'd probably never be able to find it. And 2, I've heard a lot of stories about the engine not even turning. So definitely, if you do this build, check up on that. I have made a few mistakes throughout, but mostly it's in that when you join pieces together, a lot of times there'll be a pin out and you have to push it in. I've neglected to do that a few times, which is not a big deal. There are a few pieces that I've missed that luckily I've been able to find and go back and add to. But yeah, so the first box, like I said, was the engine, second box front end. The third box, not quite as complex. We started adding some of this plating to everything here. So I think the fourth box is going to be some of the interior, the seats, steering wheel, all that. But I have checked it throughout. These paddle shifters work. You can shift it in and out of gear here. That works. All the cylinders are working well. The wing comes up and out and goes back in. So far so good. I don't think I've made any catastrophic errors, which is a bit of a surprise, but box number 4. Let's get to it. Alright guys, you have made it to the end of the video. Well done. First of all, if you made it through the whole video, I want to apologize for the audio in the first part of the video. It definitely was clipped. My gain got bumped on my external mic, so I know that was hard to listen to. I apologize about that. Also, the last time lapse, my battery died at my memory card got full at the most inconvenient time, so I didn't even get to show us finishing it. But here it is, the Bugatti Chiron in all of its glory. Check that out. Let's go over a few things and I'll kind of give a impromptu review of it. Moving parts. First of all, in the front here we've got the hood. It houses, I'll put this little key in there, we'll go over that in a second, and a handbag for all of your accessories. Goes right there. Full steering, little steering wheel there. The wheels turn about 30 degrees, not much. But they do turn. Doors open and close. And then this is going to be tough to see, not a huge deal. The headrests on the inside move forward and backward. On the inside, in the center console, you've got a shifter, 3 positions, forward, neutral, and reverse. And then under the steering wheel, there is a paddle shifter. The gear train on this thing has a full 8 gears. We'll talk about that in just a second. Shocks, independent suspension on every wheel here. In the back, we do have a wing. It can either be extended manually, or that's what the key is for. The driver's side rear wheel, there's a little spot back there. You twist, it can raise to just, I guess, normal racing mode, or if you need it for air brake, twist again, and it'll kind of flip forward a little bit. To retract it, rotate it clockwise, goes back in place. The engine here, a W16, all 16 cylinders, kind of covered up, but they do function. Rear suspension differential as well. This is a heavy car, probably about 10 pounds. It does have a pretty convenient place to grab it here, just under the roof of the car. It's a little bit rear heavy, but very sturdy there if you want to pick it up. So let's go over I guess a review of the build. This was a blast to put together. I do have a few little nitpicks about it. First of all, the suspension. It has 2 shock absorbers for every wheel, but this thing is so heavy that that's not really enough. You push it down and it doesn't spring back up. This is probably not something you're going to play with, so that's not going to be a huge deal. Also, the steering works just fine as long as it doesn't have any weight on it, but again, it's so heavy that when you push it down, if you try to move it back and forth and you want to turn, that's not really going to do it. Doesn't quite turn like you would expect. I guess the last little nitpick I have is with the gearbox. Now, it does have 8 gears, and you can tell a huge difference between first gear and 8th gear. The pistons in first gear really fire off rapidly, and then in 8th gear they move very slowly. However, there is quite a bit of tension required in the system in order to get those to move, and I don't think it's something I built incorrectly because I read online about this, and a lot of other people had this issue. But basically, you have to move it for about 3 feet to get those pistons to work, and then even then, as you move it, there's a little hesitation in there. So the gearbox is very, very complex. Lots of moving parts in there, and so I think that LEGO just needs a little bit to perfect it. It could be something I built wrong. I don't think I did, because every step along the way with the gearbox, I tested to make sure there was movement, and I wasn't putting too much tension on things. So I think it's just the complexity of the gearbox prevents that from moving smoothly. Again, this is not something you're going to just play with and drive around with figures in it or whatever. This is more kind of a showpiece, so that's not a huge deal. The pistons do work, the shifter does work, it's just not quite as smooth as you would expect. I didn't come across any catastrophic errors that I know of, but it would be nice if LEGO put in the instructions how checkpoints along the way, make sure your gears are moving at this point, because if you did mess up, this is so complex, so well put together, that there is just no way that you're going to fix it without destroying everything. Enough of that. Don't let that discourage you. This was awesome to put together. About 15 hours of work. It is so intricate. Especially putting the gearbox and engine, and then all of the front drivetrain together. That was just an absolute blast. Had so much fun with this. Like I said, about 15 hours of work. My little girl came and helped me pick out parts toward the end there, so it was a lot of fun that we had together. So complex. It's so fascinating to watch the gears work. You can't really see too much of it, but on the bottom here, there is a little opening where you can see kind of the spring-loaded little orange pieces that engage the drivetrain. You can see them moving back and forth as you're pushing this paddle shifter. Let's see, other things about it. It's just a slick looking car. The Bugattis, the Veyron, not the best looking car in the world. I of course would drive one if offered the chance, but the Chiron is just a beautiful car. LEGO captured all these lines, this distinctive C shape here, this straight line down the middle, all that is characteristic of a Bugatti. LEGO nailed that. This thing is so well put together. Like I said, very sturdy, just to grab it there and pick it up, or once you get it up, holding it on the bottom is no problem. That bottom is very flat, and if you want to turn it upside down, look at any of the drivetrain, you can just rest it on its top. No big deal. But guys, that was money well spent. I thoroughly enjoyed putting that together. Like I said, if you're watching this when I released it, I know the coronavirus is going around, so I hope you're being safe. I hope you're taking care of yourself mentally too. There is a lot to digest out there, a lot of bad news. If it's bothering you, log off. Just, get off the internet. That's my 2 cents. I don't mean to preach, but take care of yourself mentally and physically, guys. Stay safe, stay away from each other physically, but take care of your mind as well. Build a set of Legos. Highly recommend it. It was a nice diversion, something that little kids can get involved with as well. I'm rambling a bit at the end, guys. I hope you enjoyed this build. I had a ton of fun putting it together. The Bugatti Chiron, highly recommended. We'll get into some photography in just a little bit because I've got nothing but time to make videos here. So thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.